Hi. At NRGI, one of our flagship contributions to the field has been the 2017 Resource Governance Index, and it is my privilege today to talk to you about this unique research effort and to explain what it tells us about global resource governance performance and how this data can benefit citizens of resource-rich countries. The Resource Governance Index, RGI, is a premier international index dedicated to the measurement of governance of extractive resources. And specifically, in it we set out to assess the quality of governance in the oil and gas and mining sectors of 81 resource-producing countries. Why undertake such a massive and complex project? Well, for one, there was no systematic data on these issues in the extractive sector, which is comparable across countries. That was making it very difficult to both diagnose the resource governance challenges of countries and to have an informed global dialogue about extractive governance standards and desirable practice. The RGI therefore supports global awareness of the governance challenges in the extractive sector and identify the emerging norms. But most importantly, the availability of high-quality data is a tool for evidence policy making by governments and parliament, as well as evidence-based policy advocacy by civil society and other reformist agents of change. And the RGI is also a tool for multi-stakeholder dialogue with civil society, academia, private sector, government, informed by real data, and useful for researchers around the globe. Sounds good so far, but now you might be wondering how it is we actually measure and compare resource governance performance across countries. NRGI has come up with a composite score for the degree to which the resource sector is managed in an accountable and transparent manner. Each score is built on assessments across three components. The first is value realization, addressing the question of whether countries manage the activities that determine if they get a good deal for their natural resources in an accountable and transparent manner. And that corresponds to the first steps of the extractive decision chain, including how exploration, licensing, contracting, and taxation are conducted, as well as the management of local impacts from the sector. And the RGI also pays special attention to state-owned enterprises. Second, revenue management, which assesses transparency and accountability of policies around the management of natural resource wealth. Specifically, we look at transparency of the budget, the sharing of natural resource revenue with some national authorities, and the use of special resource accounts, otherwise known as sovereign wealth funds, which are instruments to address these challenges. But it's not possible to speak about the above governance components in a silo, because in each country the quality and impact of resource governance is affected by the overall enabling environment. So the factors affect how governance really works on the grounds also transcend the sector itself. And therefore we have the third component, which is the enabling environment component. And there are a number of existing indicators here which we draw from the worldwide governance indicators such as voice and accountability, control of corruption, rule of law, regulations, but also include in this enabling environment metrics from three different measures of open data. Now, what have we learned from this ambitious undertaking? From the best performers that include Norway, Chile, UK, and Canada, to the worst performers in Eritrea, Turkmenistan, Libya, Sudan, and then many in between. The 81 countries included in the index exhibit a very wide spectrum of resource governance performance. We see that most countries still face daunting governance challenges. In fact, 66 of the 81 countries assessed, or over 80% of these countries, do exhibit weak, poor, or failing governance. Less than 20% assessed achieved an overall rating of satisfactory or above. And in terms of good performance, only the 4 countries I mentioned earlier. Also, the vast majority of those countries that are classified as resource-rich by the IMF don't perform well. They are rated as weak or worse. But there are exceptions there. There's Botswana, Indonesia, Mongolia, even among the very resource-rich, suggesting that there is nothing predetermined about performance in these countries. But the overall findings do support the case for the need to strengthen natural resource governance. Having billions of dollars worth of oil, gas, or minerals beneath the ground clearly is found not to guarantee having the capacity or the will to manage them well. Often this is the other way around. Thank you very much.